Welcome back to the Pam and Peggy Show. I have a very special guest today, Antonio Samayoya from Saamis Immigration Services Association. Welcome, Antonio.
Thank you.
So,
Glad to be here.
Glad you're here too. I know you've had lots of activity in your agency the last year, lots of expansion, many things happening with the influx of newcomers from Syria, I understand.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about some of the things that are happening?
Well, our regular government-sponsored refugees number for Amazing Hat is 60 per year. And from December 2015 till February 2016, we received 124 individuals from Syria.
Oh my goodness! So
that's kind of triplicate the number.
Yes.
It was 30. Some of them moved to another cities where they have family members, but we still have about 114 individuals in the city from that time.
Wow.
And regular arrivals are coming from different countries. But the Syrians were a total of 40 adults and more than 66 children.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So lots of, so you've had to expand your operations, I understand.
We did, because we were running 2 English classes. It was according with the number the government sent us. We had to, instead of 2 classes, we are running 4.
Wow.
So we leased the former King of Trade building for specifically for English classes right now.
Okay. And you also help with settling people into the culture, getting used to the way of life. Is that still?
Yes. There is we run 5 different programs. 4 of them fully funded by the federal government, and 1 of them is joined with the provincial government. We take care of the newcomers since they arrive in Mesa Hat Airport. We put them in a reception house or hotels. In this case, we had to use hotel because there were too many of them.
Yeah.
And we do all the package of orientation, documentation, get a family doctor, look for permanent accommodation for them. When they are in their houses, we do the parents join the English classes, and the kids go to school, and the little ones go to daycare.
Okay.
So that program is for the first 6 weeks, and then they got another program which is integrated settlement services. We do all the settlement necessary for them.
Okay. Now I know you came yourself as a refugee back in the 90s, was it?
Exactly,
And we had talked just before we started filming that there are lots of challenges and
there is a new culture, the weather, the first winter.
I can imagine. Yeah.
The language.
Yeah.
By the time I came to Canada, Saamis already exist. We are in business since 1988, and the quality of service from that time to this time improved a lot. So they create more diversity programs for newcomers, like Swiss is settlement workers in a school.
Okay.
It's a bridge between parents, teachers, and students from different cultures, and they do registration and take care of kids.
Right.
There are also community connection, when it's a program that we match the new families with a Canadian volunteer or any volunteer, not just Canadian, to help them to learn about the Canadian culture.
Okay.
It's a program that runs the volunteers.
So you have a lot of volunteers?
Yes. Volunteers are the core of our association. We can't do our job without them.
Right. You're a not-for-profit association?
We are non-profit.
Yeah. And you've been around since 1988, you said?
Saamis has.
Saamis has, yeah. So what kind of outcomes do you get for people when they come and they settle and you help them and they learn the language? What becomes of people? How does it work?
My reward
Yeah.
is to see my clients succeed. One of my favorites is a lady that came from Africa, a single mom with 7 kids.
Oh, wow.
Illiterate in their own language. Well, 1 year later, she was speaking English, driving and working in a supermarket. That
Wow.
really
Yeah. Yeah.
is my reward.
Yeah. And those kids then grow up to be contributing members of our
Yeah, that's
our
I believe
societies.
that's the investment from the government.
Yeah.
The kids that they're gonna get a Canadian education and become taxpayer like us.
Exactly. So what do you say to those people who might say, well, why should we help these people? We have enough of our own people to take care of. Do you ever hear that from people?
Yes, not a lot, because Amazing Hat is a wonderful community.
That's good.
When the Syrian movement started, we had community forums to put the community together, and the response was overwhelming. There are a few people that do not like it, but see, the new Canadians, they got some financial assistance during the first year, and it's an economic circle or cycle. You know, they got money and they invest the money everywhere in the city. So
Right.
it's not.
So it helps everybody.
It's help
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
some people don't see it, and some of them are become independent very soon,
Yes.
getting any survival job, and,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's
exactly.
why they start
Yeah.
adapting themselves.
Exactly.
The first years is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
is the
And
hard
people
one.
are fleeing, of course, from Syria, the decimation of their country, and other people. Are people coming from other places as well? You said, Antonio.
Yes, this year we received people from Burma,
Okay.
Congo, Ethiopia, and Syria.
Okay. Okay.
But normally, this Syrian movement was in the top of our target for the year, so we received 60 extra people
A
in the
lot of
top of the
people, yeah.
124.
So when they finish their English training, what next? What happens?
Well, we try to refer you to another service agency for training for employment, like me in human service. Before the fiscal year, the financial assistance finish, so they can
So they can
become
find
independent.
work. Yeah, exactly. And do people ever? You mentioned some people go to other centers. Is that because they might have family there or bigger cities?
Yes, we retain most of the families because this is a wonderful city for big families, and especially Syrians are big families, 10, 8, 6.
Okay. And are people enjoying once they get used to things here?
Yes.
Are they? They're
Yeah,
happy
because
enough?
it's a safe city, and the schools are. We
Right.
have a good relationship with the school districts and all the
Right.
other service providers. They have
Right.
been wonderful.
Good, good. So you mentioned you have enough volunteers right now, and you've expanded. Is this expansion going to continue? Do you see the need continue to grow, or do you think you're pretty much set
I
up now?
think the government will start sending us more people than before in order to keep the level of staff and service we are providing right now.
Okay, so you're well set up now to help newcomers come,
Yeah,
and Medicine Hat is a community that can manage more people. I'm thinking in terms
we
of
prove that. Yeah.
yes, exactly. Well, we're growing. We don't want the community to shrivel up and blow away,
Yes,
you know.
yes,
and
yes.
and I know I had heard that with populations in general, people are having smaller families. So in order to sustain a country, you do need to have people coming from other places. And
We need those children.
exactly, yes, for sure. And those are the people that are then going to be here to help keep society
Yeah,
going when you and I are.
Yeah, it's a cycle. See.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what the idea we put in our orientation for the newcomers.
Yeah,
We are helping you today
yeah,
in order you to help others.
Others, yeah.
They can sponsor their family members later.
okay, that's good.
So
yeah.
the kids sometimes marry with a lady or a
Yeah.
gentleman from their culture and
Yeah.
travel over there, bring their wife
Yeah.
or
Okay,
husbands.
good. So are there sort of sub-communities now developing with people from other countries? Do they have their own community
Yes,
associations, churches?
yes,
and
and Saamis Immigration
mosques and-
provide them the facilities for the meeting. We have a Sudanese community, and the Islamic community. They have their own mosque and their own society. Yeah.
Right. And this is a way, I think, to educate our own children about diversity and the value of other cultures and different food and different music, different cultural experiences that we can all share.
Yeah, it's interesting. We had an event to thank our volunteers and donors in one of the local churches, and we have about 150 people attending. It was a potluck with different Middle East food. It was good.
Fabulous, yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I know how busy you are, Antonio, so I really appreciate you coming to share the story.
I'm glad. I like to talk about our programs and to make the community be aware that to welcome our newcomers.
Yes,
because
exactly.
Make them feel at home. That's what they
that's
need.
Fabulous.
They already suffer a lot of traumas.
And they need to feel at home.
They need to feel at home.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for you and your staff for doing that. So we will be back after this break. Don't go away.